Welcome back everybody to Forza Horizon 4, and today we're doing another seasonal championship. This one is called Forest for the Trees, and yeah, we're in retro rally cars in C-Class. So I think we've done this class of car before, so I will try and change it up with the vehicles that I chose in that last one, but since I can't remember, it'll be a guessing game, but I'm pretty sure I know which ones I would have gone for, considering I generally go for the ones that I like the most. So yeah, we'll change it up. Not necessarily going to go for ones I hate, but maybe the lesser ones that I didn't choose from before I was in where I ranked them, to be honest. But yeah, there's going to be plenty of great cars to choose from, I have no doubt about that.
Seasonal championship in the summer? Not much really. Have fun.
And you do win one of the cars that I actually have in here if you want to do this championship. So yeah, we've got the Ford Racing Puma and the Ford Escort RS Cosworth, Lancia 037 Stradale and the Lancia Delta HF Integrale Evo, Mitsubishi Galant VR4, the Nissan Pulsar GTI-R, the Peugeot 205 T16, the Renault 5 Turbo, Subaru Legacy RS. This is a Toyota. You can win the Celica GT4 from 1994, and then we've got the Celica GT4 from 1992 as well. This Toyota, the 92 one, and the Peugeot and the Nissan are probably the ones that I picked because they're generally my favourites. So yeah, I think we'll go for the Subaru Legacy first. It's the lowest one in the class, as you can see, 503, whereas the vast majority of them are above, you know, 550, 540, something like that. So yeah, easily the lowest, with the Renault 5 Turbo being the next lowest. But yeah, this does at least have all-wheel drive, and yeah, decent amount of power, 217 horsepower, and it weighs less than 3,000 pounds. So yeah, it should still be a fairly cracking car. And yeah, without this, you wouldn't have got your you know, your Subaru Imprezas or anything like that, because this is really the basis for those cars, despite its rather mundane saloon car looks. So yeah, let's hope and pray this is quick enough, considering how low in the class it is. As we're able to more than 7,000 RPM. That's good. Yeah, it's by no means the most powerful here, and nor is it the lightest. I have all of the confidence in this being able to do fairly well. As long as we get top 3, I'll be happy, but anything more than that, then is a bonus. Yeah, top 3 is generally the start to championship. Saloon cars that are currently leading, with the Galant up front and another Legacy in front of us. Out of the Galant and this, I do prefer the Galant overall. I know the Galant is probably even less appealing in terms of looks, but I like a lot of the technology that car has going for it. Plus it's still pretty quick as well. Being a Mitsubishi is a little bit more classy in terms of what it's got going in terms of luxury items. Subaru are a little bit more down and dirty, which does have its place. But if I'm going to be, you know, driving the car on a day-to-day basis, I would prefer what the Galant has to offer over this. Still a cracking car though, this. And really did show that the likes of Germany, we're not the only ones that can make a sporty saloon. Though I am by no means saying this is anything like an M5. It's way down on power in terms of that, but I'd say this would be a more usable car on a day-to-day basis than an M5, just because it has an all-wheel drive system, which when, you know, you're dealing with rain, snow, ice or anything like that, that extra security is always a bonus. And that will even make it faster on day-to-day roads than an M5 would be, just because you can be more confident with it. On the track. an M5 would eat this thing alive. We're gaining a bit of a lead now, hopefully. Despite the fact that we're way low down on the overall C-Class range. Remember, there's still only one below the highest difficulty on the drivetrain difficulty levels, so they're not exactly on easy mode. Generally think that they fight too much over one another. So really be competitive against yourself, because you know it's one of me, but there's 11 of them, and there's more likely to be a bit more bit of a tussle between them when I get ahead. And there we go, nice solid win there from my dependable, if slightly boring, Subaru. But still a really rather solid car, even if I don't find it particularly exciting. But yeah, more than 4-second lead on the Galant there. Nearly 6-second lead on another Legacy RS, and way ahead of a 5 turbo from Renault, and another Subaru Legacy RS. So yeah, there we go. So let's get on to the second race and see if we can get in something a little bit quicker. So a solid win there from the Legacy RS. So let's see if we can get in something a bit more exciting. Yeah, let's get in the Ford Escort RS Cosworth. Slightly more power, way more torque, less in the way of weight, and yeah, it's definitely quicker in terms of speed, better in terms of handling and braking as well. Acceleration is better, but the speed isn't, but I probably put that down to the rear wing on the Escort there, which is quite large. But yeah, should be pretty quick, so let's see what it can do. Again, this is another legendary rally car from Ford. I think this is the last Escort as a rally car from Ford, because Escort name was dropped by the late 90s, early 2000s for the Mondeo name. The Focus name, one or the other. And as soon as he moved into their new edge period, they dropped several cars. God, this is pretty quick. Not as quick as the original Escort RS Cosworth was, because that had an even larger turbo, but had a hell of a lot of turbo lag on it, so the reduced the power, reduced the torque a bit, but put a smaller turbo on it, which was easy to live with on a day-to-day basis, and have none of the turbo lag. Would be interesting to see one day have that version on Forza game, just to see what it's like in comparison to this. We have had this version of the Escort RS Cosworth for the longest of times. Once again, a really, really good car, this. All-wheel drive, not much in the way of weight, decent amount of power. It's even lighter and more agile than the Legacy is, just because it weighs less. I think it's a little shorter in wheelbase, maybe? Either way, a cracking little car. Again, the Galant is up front. Not as high revving as the Subaru, as you can see. Definitely more powerful. A little bit more playful as well than the Subaru was. Like it wants to be thrown around and will do anything that you want it to and reward you for it. drift. And yes, I know drifting is not the quickest way around a corner, as you can see by being overtaken by the Galant there. But it is fun, and that's why I play these games, is to have fun. People take these games too seriously are not my cup of tea, to be honest. Though, if I am racing against real people, I will obviously take it seriously and not crash into anyone. But yeah, regardless, more than a second ahead again against the Galant there. Another Escort in third, and 2 Lancia 037s rounding out the top 5. So yeah, not the most varied lineup there, but regardless, another 20 points in our pocket, giving us 40. 8 ahead of the Galant, which is still our arch nemesis in this championship. And yeah, 14 ahead of the Escort, and well ahead of the other 2 037s. So yeah, regardless, let's get on to the third and final race. So another win there thanks to the Escort RS Cosworth. So let's get in another vehicle, preferably something I rather enjoy driving. Really am tempted to go for the Pulsar. I know it's got slightly less torque than the Escort, but it's got a little bit more in the way of power, and it is lighter. And as you can see, in terms of acceleration, it's pretty much unrivaled by any other car on here, I think. 7.1 to beat. Yeah, it's easily the fastest here. Yeah, let's get in it. I know I've probably chosen it before in a previous championship, but I do really, really love this car. I know it's not particularly pretty. It's not subtle in the slightest, especially with that really rather bulging bonnet and the large rear spoiler, but it just does everything a car should be able to do, and that is blisteringly quick but also practical at the same time. It still amazes me to this day that this car is as quick as it is, especially considering a lot of people think, oh, the Ford Focus RS was the first all-wheel drive hatchback, and there isn't a hatchback like it for ever or whatever, and then obviously the Mercedes-Benz AMG A-Class came along, and that was also a really fast all-wheel drive hatchback. But yeah, you can really link it to the likes of this for those kind of cars, because this is also all-wheel drive, also extremely quick, especially in comparison to the competition from the time. But unlike those two cars, oh dear, well, this has rally pedigree, not like it showed off there, but generally does. And like the Subaru from before, this runs more than 7,000 RPM, but it also has the lightweightedness of the Escort, though even more so, and the short wheelbase as well of that car, so it's basically a mix of the two cars we've already used. But unlike those two, this is far quicker. Even though it does have less torque than the Escort, the extra little bit of horsepower and the reduction in weight combined to make a blisteringly quick car. This is of course the course that we use on Extreme Off-Road Silly Bills. It's a perfect home for a powerful all-wheel drive car, considering that's all we'll be able to take down on this course on that series. It's a shame that this car was called the Sunny in Britain, when the name Pulsar is obviously far superior of a name. But there we go, another win there, another convincing win as well, and yeah, by nearly 4 seconds ahead of a Delta, and yeah, well ahead of the Galant, which I think was the one that was previously right behind us. Let's take a look. No, it wasn't. One of them must have swapped cars at some point, but regardless, we're 20 points ahead of second place, 22 points ahead of third, 24 points ahead of 4th, and yeah, massive 28 points ahead of 5th. So yeah, a resounding win there from us, and we didn't even all pick the cars I found to be my favourites. The Escort and the Legacy are shortly really good cars, but they aren't cars that I necessarily gravitate towards if I were choosing out of retro rally cars, whereas the Pulsar is the one that I would generally go towards. But either way, really fun championship. You do get a 94 Celica if you've not already got that car, so it's again worth doing this championship if you haven't got that vehicle yet. But regardless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.